Welcome to Talking with Taco. I'm a co-host Eli, joined by our main host Taco and our co-host Art. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about a little bit more about mental health. It's going to be a shorter episode. We all play college football at the Division III level. Playing college football is a really great, unique experience for all of us. Playing Division III college football is a little different. It's a little bit more of like an untold story than it is playing a Division I football at different levels. We want to touch on a little bit of that, talk about what football means to us, let you guys get to know us a little bit more, and talk about something we're really passionate about. So basically, we all started playing football for different reasons. We all started playing football at different ages, different times. For me personally, my mom always likes to joke with me when I was 3 years old. I could tell you every NFL team and the quarterback of each team. I was obsessed with football cards when I was a little kid. I love football. It's what I knew I always wanted to do, and I want to make it a career one day. And to me, it was always the best outlet for me. It helped me deal with anything I had going on. And I loved football, and football has taught me so many great experiences and life lessons that I wouldn't be here without it. But what about you guys? Why did you start playing? What does it mean to you?
Well, first off, to start off, it's Art. Love every one of you guys that have tuned in to the podcast. I hope everyone had a blessed day or is having a blessed day. Yeah, I can't wait to get this kicked off. So for me, starting off, I started off playing football mostly when I started when I was 5 years old. The joy of me playing football came from watching my brother. Actually, my older brother joined football first, and I was like, oh man, like I saw him hitting people, and I was like, oh man, like I got to do this, like as a little kid, because you have so much energy. So I was just like, I need to put this to good use. And luckily, my parents were able to put me into like a Pop Warner team, and after that it was just kind of wraps. Like, I fell in love with the game. It just meant a lot. Like, I've learned a lot, played for many great coaches, continued to play for great coaches, and just great to meet a lot of great teammates I've had in the past. Taco, take us off about you.
The reason why I got into kind of football is we're gonna get kind of deep with my kind of reason, but the whole reason I got into football because I was in middle school, probably like 6th grade. I was eating lunch at a table, or first of all, I want to go back a little bit more. So growing up, I was always kind of a bigger kid. Didn't have too much friends. Everybody always picked on, in elementary, middle school, everybody picks on the big guys because they're big. But like in middle school, I was eating lunch one day, and I go to sit down on a table, and it's just a bunch of football players from Pop Warner. He was like, nah, you can't sit here. I'm like, why? Because and they were like, you don't play football, and I'm like, that's kind of messed up, don't you think?
Yeah.
And Pop Warner at the time they had like weight restrictions. Mm-hmm. I was too big for pretty much all of them, or the ones in my age group, until a youth football league called KYF, Kauai Youth Football, came out with a league. It was pretty brand new at the time. I think I was like one of the first. I was on one of the first teams on like the younger division, but their league didn't have no weight limit. It was just by age and grade, so I was able to play football through that. And then I don't know, kind of meeting the guys, they kind of switched up on me because they see me as one of the equals now. And
it's just like they're like, oh, like now you play football, like yeah. Oh, let's talk, yeah.
Yeah, and they started switching up on me, and that's pretty much the reason why I started playing football.
One thing I like about that too with you is because one thing I always notice about you is you treat everyone with like love, and everyone kind of loves you. So like it's a good reason that you kind of like flipped that and you didn't take that as a negative light. Because I feel like most people, if they had that experience in life, or a lot of people if they had that experience in life, would use it as a negative, and they'd they'd have hate and hurt and resentment in them. And dude, you don't have any of that. Like, you're lovable. Like, you love everyone the same. You treat the worst player on a team the same way you treat the best player on a team. And yeah, I love that about you. Taco.
Appreciate that, Eli.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, being football players, like all of us, like obviously we have to get up for these 5:30 a.m. practices, lifts and stuff like that. So like, what drives each of you guys to get up and actually go? Because you can hear the alarm, you can press snooze, and you can just not go. Like, you have the ability to have that choice, but what gets you up every single day to go out there and compete?
I think for me at least, it's it's always kind of been like my outlet.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of been something that I use to kind of like help me with stuff. Like when I was a little kid, I had stuff going on. Growing up, I had a lot of stuff in my personal life, and
Absolutely.
like football was just the one thing that could take me out of that and take me away from that. And it's something I loved, and it's something I loved doing. And so it still is like that for me. When I could just, one thing I love about practice is I can just put a helmet on and just not think about anything else except playing football. And all the other stuff I forget about, all the other stuff that's going on, I don't have to worry about it. And having it be an outlet for me was huge. And also just loving my teammates. Like, sometimes I'll wake up and be excited to see everyone. I'm excited to see my friends. I'm excited to see the boys. I'm excited to run around and laugh and giggle. Like at practice, like you'll see me like giggling and goofy and all like crazy sometimes, but that's because it's like my escape. Like it's where I love to be, and
Absolutely.
it's my way to get out of like everything else out of my head. So
That's beautiful.
that's something that pushes me and motivates me to get up.
Up next, let's go, Taco.
I think the thing that motivates me is like probably that other people also have that they also have to get up, because I know there's been multiple times I could have been like, you know, coach, I'm feeling sick today, or like, coach, I'm hurt today. I don't know if I'll be able to make it to lift. But like, whenever that thought runs through my mind, I'm thinking like, other teammates, other people on my team they're going through the same thing. Like, why not? Why can't I just do it?
Yeah.
And then even another thing, when I wake up in the mornings, I'm like, why can't I just do one more day?
Yeah.
Why can't I just do one more lift, one more rep? Why not? And that's pretty much the main reasons I'm able to push through.
And I think too, like for me, like one of the thing is like I want to be ready. Like I want to win for like my teammates, because I love all you guys. You guys, we become really close. So I want to be like what you said. Like everyone else is getting up, like I want to get up too. So that way, if they need me, like I'm ready to go, and I want to help you guys win. And it's become a lot less like personal, or it still is like very personal, my own stuff. But that's another huge factor.
Absolutely.
What about you? What about you, Laura?
Oh man, I mean, I've had the same like mentality like ever since I was like a little kid. What really drives me every day, like where I get up to go to practice, is just the atmosphere of being around, you know, you guys, like old teammates and stuff like that. Like, you know, obviously like we all have stuff that like, you know, skeletons in our closet like back in the old days and stuff like that. So football has always been like an outlet for me as well. You know, like just putting on a helmet, shoulder pads, and lining up against someone on a Saturday, Friday, Thursday, like, you know, like just getting out there and hit someone, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's just one of the best feelings and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say it's been easy, you know, 5:30 a.m. practices, you know.
It's been rough.
One thing I like tell people too is like I love football more than anything, and I've been like that my whole life. And one thing I tell people is like you'll really know if you love football if you start playing in college.
Absolutely.
Like it's very time consuming. Got to wake up really early a lot of days. You got to have long days, tough days. Mentally it's tough, physically it's tough. And I think if you're able to stick it out and like keep playing, and some people have different circumstances. Some people have things that they can't control and reasons why they can't keep playing, and that's totally understandable. And they still really do love football, but they're just unable to do it. Absolutely. But like, if you can stick it out and you can control what you control and you can keep playing, like you really love the game to play it, especially at this level.
Absolutely. The other thing I love is when I go out there and like try to be a leader for you guys, you know, like trying to bring the joy to you guys' faces, you know, like you're probably looking at me like this guy's crazy. Yeah. Like it's 5:30 in the morning. Like why are you yelling right now? Like let's go. Like let's freaking go. Like, you know, like what is this guy doing? But it's like I just do that because I want, like, you know, I want the best out of everyone. That's why like I push everyone like on the team and stuff like that. I want nothing but the best. I'm also a big person that loves to win.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
you know,
you're really
like
competitive.
I definitely do not enjoy losing, but I kind of got to give that shout out to my brother just because he handed me a lot of L's growing up, you know, and you don't like losing to your like siblings and stuff like that. So it was like once I learned how to use that drive of losing to my brother, I just applied it to football, and like it's just been a continuous thing. It's just like, all right, I'm going to win. I don't care what it takes to win. Yeah. I will get that win. Yeah, and that's just one of the best things that I think I learned when I was playing football.
I love winning. But I also love the part of it that it's like together. Absolutely. Like it's a part where it's like I know last year, like, Art will just run over and kill someone on kickoff, and he's running the sideline screaming. And, you know, even for me, like, I didn't play last year as my freshman year, but he'll run up and jump and give me a hug, and I'll be like, let's go, Art. And we're, like, yelling at each other. And stuff like that is, like, it's awesome. Like, even for a guy that wasn't able to get on the field, it makes me, like, love it and be a part of it because I'm seeing, like, my guys go out and play well. So that part of it to me is huge, and I love that aspect. But also, I got a good transition question because you kind of just brought it up. What's the biggest thing you learned? What's the biggest thing you learned while playing football in college? Like, what's the biggest takeaway that's different about Art from Art before camp to Art now and Taco before camp and Taco now?
Taco, you can take this one first.
The biggest difference I know, like I seen, like from fall camp or spring camp?
Fall till now.
Fall till now.
Like more like mentally than like physically.
So the one thing I figured out about myself personally, I figured out I could push myself way further than I think I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause, like I'll have like, you know, your usual bumps and bruises, your little hurt, your ankles hurt a little bit, your fingers hurting, but like that's just something that you're gonna have to push through. Unless it like really really hurt, then obviously go see the trainer. But like something that like hurts a little bit, if you know you can push yourself, you just can't lie to yourself and be like, if you really can't go, don't go.
Yeah.
But if you can,
got more in the tank,
if you can, like do it for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, that's pretty much it. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like the biggest thing, like the transition that I made, like not like on the field or like kind of plays on the field, but it was just my mentality. You know, it was like obviously like, you know, as a linebacker, it's fear like no one but respect all, you know? And it's just like it kind of helped me once like this whole college experience, just like playing against like older people, you know? Like we got guys that are on the team maybe like 26 or something, or even like the opponents like 26-year-old. It's like I love the feeling knowing that, you know, this guy is older than me by many years. You know, he's been on this planet like 7 more years than me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm beating him every play. Like, it's a great feeling, you know?
You're still competing with him.
Yeah, it's like no matter what age you are or how big you are, it's like, I don't care who you are, I'm going to beat you. Yeah. Like, I think that was just like the biggest like switch that I made. It was just like, it was kind of awesome to like feel for the first time. And I was like, wow, like this is awesome. What about you, Eli?
For me, the biggest thing I learned playing football, and I think I apply these things to my actual life too, because football is like really important. It's one of the most important things to my life and all of our lives right now, and everyone playing. But one thing I always like to look at is what's more important to me is, you know, how I'm going to be as like a father, a husband, my career. So like I always try to like apply football to the real world. And one thing I learned really well is, one, to not worry about things you can't control and to become the best version of yourself, and that's what you can control. That's something that was big for me, where every day I would not to compare yourself to anyone else, and I learned just to become the best version of me. And one thing one of my Coach Culpepper told me one day, he's like, just get a little bit better every single day. That's all you worry about. Every day, just come out and get a little bit better. And that's something I do in life too, where like I want to work on this aspect of myself in life. Absolutely. And it's not going to be it's going to be a slow process, and every day just get a little bit better. And then you keep stacking those days, you're going to look back in months from now and be like, wow, like I've come a long way. So learning to, like my mom always just has a saying, like, let God control what you cannot control.
Yeah. And
doing stuff like that and accepting that more, and getting better every day, I think is something that's huge for me. And then also too, one thing I really think that was good for me is being like, I was always really grateful for like where I am, and I always try to have like appreciation, like, and I always try to like, but it's hard to forget. It's easy to forget that when you're going through a lot and you're stressed out and you got a lot going on, and football's tough and school's tough and you might have something going on in your personal life. But one thing I like to remember is like I get to play college football. That was my dream since I was a little kid. I think it's like 5% of high school players play college football at any level. So like you're part of the 5%. You're still a guy that's playing. Like it's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah.
For me, I come from a small high school. Not many people. Like I'm the only person I think still playing sports. That was in my graduating class. I might be missing 1 or 2 people. And then like while I was at my high school, only 3 other people played in college. So like for me, I'm just grateful that I'm still able to play the game. Like I'll talk to my friends and be like, "Wow, you're still playing?" I'm like, yeah. And then like it's a big deal for me, even though it's a smaller school up here, but
Yeah.
it's a big deal for me and the people back home for me, and you try to be grateful. And dude, it's like I love it here. Like I have all my friends, people I love. We're playing at a school that people really care about football here. They care about like so many people. There's so many players that played professionally that came through here. So many coaches that coached in the NFL that came through here. Like they won a national championship in the 1970s and was it NAIA or is it D2? Yeah, and dude, it's a great school, and like I'm just so blessed to be here, and yeah, that's one thing I appreciate too.
So reflecting a little bit back onto what you were saying, you brought up a little bit about stress. Obviously, this podcast, today's episode at least, we're going to talk about a little bit of mental health. How has your mental health been throughout this whole process? You want to start us off, Taco?
Yeah, I'll go first. My mental health is like, obviously it goes up and down. It's like
Absolutely.
a wave. You gotta ride the wave. But like, there's obviously been days where I just want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get out of here. Just be done with football.
Yeah.
But then you realize, well, like once you've been away, like take spring break for example.
Yeah.
We went away for a week. I got bored at home.
Yeah.
You missed it too.
I missed working out. I missed seeing the guys, and that's what like brings your mental health back up.
Mm-hmm.
But then also taking like getting over practices and stuff. Like before practice every day.
Every day you.
I just want to quit. Every time I hear that alarm, I just want to quit.
That same alarm that goes off every single day.
But then after we get done with practice, after we get our last break, whatever, I'm like, dude, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
No.
Yeah,
I can go again tomorrow, and then it's just a constant cycle of ups and downs.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just it's able just to stick it out, and like the second you wake up, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's 5 a.m, like I gotta get up and go to this lift. You're like I just want to go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you're up and you're moving around, and once you see your boys and you're giving each other hugs, and it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, like honestly, like when I see you guys in the morning, like I'm obviously like grumpy, but I don't like I'm gonna show it for a little bit, but then I'm like I hit the.
And once you start running, moving your way, you're like, oh, I'm up.
It's like you walk into the locker room, you're like, damn, I really got to do this again. I actually remember the funniest stories where in the mornings of fall camp, obviously we're new to all this and stuff like that, but I remember waking up knowing that we have 2-a-days, a lift and stuff like that. And I remember waking up and like telling Devin like, Dev, do we really want to do this for the next 4 years? You know, it's like every day it's a question, like you question yourself. But it's honestly a good thing, you know, like obviously you're testing your mental like toughness, you know?
Yeah.
Every day it's like preparation, you know, you're like all right, I got to do this again, but I'm going to do it, you know? And that's like, I think that's the beauty of playing college football. Obviously to everyone that's listening, if you guys are having issues, you know, like you're a little bit depressed or going through like something, having anxiety, like don't be afraid to reach out. I think one of the best things is like having teammates, like, just like you guys, like, you know, I can feel free like to call Taka, you know, like, hey, like, can we talk and stuff like that. And like everyone that's listening, like don't be afraid, just reach out. You always will have someone that loves you and will listen to you. I guarantee and promise.
Especially in football, because like the sport we play, like it's violent, it's tough, it's like football. But a lot of people have a hard time opening up about stuff, and like I think it's totally like people, especially in this aspect of like in the atmosphere of football, need to accept that it's okay and like it's totally fine, dude. Like it doesn't make you weaker, it doesn't make you softer. Like sometimes you need help. Same thing with like an injury, like your body part. Like you got to train your mind.
Yeah.
And if your mind's not doing good, you're not going to perform. No matter how good of a player you are, that's going to slow you down or hurt you and affect you in a negative way. So, and not only on the field but off the field. So it's always important to
carries on sometimes to your schoolwork, because now that
or even in personal life with your parents, with your siblings, with a girlfriend, with whatever's going on.
Anything. And this also doesn't just go strictly to football players, to all sports, you know. Feel free to reach out to anyone and stuff like that. I know being an athlete, no matter what sport you guys play, I know being an athlete is a difficult thing, you know. You just got a lot of stress on your mind. You got schoolwork, obviously, like we said, you got relationships, you got your family. But if you are listening and you are an athlete, you got this. You just got to believe in yourself, just like we believe in all of you guys and each other.
Art, how was your mental health?
My mental health?
How was your mental health throughout this process?
My mental health throughout this process, when I first started off, I will not lie, I was a little bit depressed. But it was just because it was the first time I'm away from my family. And, you know, that takes a toll because I love my nephew to death. And being away from him, like, really killed me. But, you know, like, obviously I'll FaceTime him and stuff like that. So I can reach out to him. But other than that, once I finally settled in, it's been, you know, a little bit of ups and downs, but mostly ups, you know, just because the football atmosphere I'm around and stuff like that. I just love being around you guys, but yeah. So far right now it's been good. How about you?
For me, I remember it was tough when I got here, definitely, because my first time being away from home, first time being in a new environment, first time, you know, having to like really push myself and grow. Mm-hmm. And then it was also a really stressful environment because going right into camp, like, it's tough. Like, it's stressful, it's competitive. So when we got into that, it was tough. But I remember one day, Jaden Klein, one of our leaders, one of our players, like, I was just sitting there in the corner, kind of looking sad. He came over and gave me a hug. He's like, "How you doing, bro?" And like, I met him a couple times. I was like, "Oh, I'm okay." And I'm like, "How are you?" He's like, "This sucks." Like, and I'm like, "Does know anyone like is everyone kind of going through it?" And he's like, "Yeah, like, it's a part of the game. Like, it's everywhere, every school, like, everyone's going through it." And then having people like that really helped me. And just once I got closer and closer with my teammates, like, it got really easy. I fell in love with just being here in the process in the school. Mm-hmm. So once you get close and build those relationships, and that takes time. That's the hardest part. It's like you're gonna have to go through it a little bit, and it's gonna take time. You have to be patient. Mm-hmm. But if you just never quit and you just keep stacking days and you just keep getting better and you're working on yourself, like, everything's gonna fall into place. Like, you're gonna be okay.
Everything will be worth it.
Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Like, that's one thing you always gotta tell yourself. And like, you're eventually, like, for me, like, I made a ton of friends. So many guys on the team that I'm really lifelong friends, and now, like, I love it. Like, every day I wake up. I have to wake up at 5, but I have to go to practice. But every day I'm like, I'm kind of excited. But like, I'm like, I hate waking up in the mornings, but I'm hyped to go play ball with the boys. And once we're up, like, I'm having so much fun. Like, I'm laughing, I'm running around, I'm locked in, trying to get better. At the same time, I'm goofing off. I'm yelling at Taco's yelling at me. We're yelling at Art, like, and yeah. So I definitely, it was hard at the beginning, but now it's so much easier, and I love it.
Yeah, like I said before, like, waking up obviously is the tough part, but once you get on that field, like, me personally, like, when I see Taco on the field, I get a little bit now excited for that practice. I'm like, all right, gonna go against my favorite guy around here. All right, let's get it on.
yeah, dude, it's fun, but it's definitely something where, like, I feel like everyone has their things, and everyone, like, most people I've talked to that have gotten close enough that open up about it. Like, you're one of the first people, like, you're one of our like defensive leaders, and you're a freshman. And I remember one time I was sitting with you and Dev, and you guys were talking about stuff. You're like, "Oh, this is what I have a hard time with. This is what I have a hard time with." And it made me feel so much better because I'm like, "Yo, I relate to all of that."
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not the only one going through this. Mm-hmm. So many people have their own thing, even if they're willing to talk about it or not. Like, for me, one thing was like just confidence, self-confidence.
Yeah.
And like I talked to like with people on the team and just being, and once I have my confidence, I play a lot better. But a lot of it, sometimes people. I know a lot of the college athletes relate to this. They're like, do you feeling like you belong on the team, especially when you're a freshman, little guy. Some days you're getting your ass kicked, but then you'll make a play, and then
you're the new guy on the block.
Yeah, you'll have a play, you'll make a moment, and you'll be like, wow, like, I can do this. Like what you said in the first game, how you're playing your first game, and you're like, Coach, I can't do this.
Yeah, reflecting back up to that first episode.
And then now look at you. It was like you were like, Coach, I don't know if like you won at halftime, like, Coach, I can't do this. And then you just came out rocking, bro. And you started the whole year, and you played really good.
Absolutely.
So a lot of it is just like there's so many players that are really good. Great players, and they have confidence issues, and you just gotta like believe in yourself and just don't quit. Just don't never give up, and you'll be okay.
Absolutely. Now since we're rolling on to Taco, how has your mental health been, or how are you doing
right now?
Yeah, currently.
I'm doing great.
Doing great. That's what I love to hear.
You know, I get to see my friends every day.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the best parts.
Yeah,
one of the main reasons why I wake up.
You can ask
one thing too for me is like. Because some of us work, one thing, we work jobs, we go to school. Like, I coach a little flag football league back home. Like, Art works at Chipotle, Taco works at school. We all go to school, we all play football. We all got our own stuff, but a lot of times it's just, you got things to look forward to. Like, even if it's Spanish class, like, seeing the boys in Spanish.
Yeah.
Or running around at 5 a.m, like, or doing a podcast, or hanging out with these people, or going to get dinner, or you have those things now where because you have so many people around you where it makes it easier and you have things to smile for. And look
Yeah,
forward
like
to.
today was exciting. I got to try on Taco's freaking cowboy hat
Yeah.
on today, and I was like, oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, and just having those things, bro. Like, make sure you give yourself stuff to look forward to. Whether if it's something little or big, whether it's even like sometimes for me, I'm like having a tough day. I know I got a long day ahead of me, but I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna get myself an oatmeal raisin cookie from Almond, and dude, it just like gives me something to look forward to. Puts a little smile on my face. Like, all right, we're gonna be good. Or like just being like, yo, I'm gonna call my brother and just talk to him for a little bit, and stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, after this class, I'm gonna give him a call, 20 minutes, talk to him a little bit, and then just give yourself things that make you smile. You know, if you're having a long day.
Absolutely. And that will conclude this episode. Once again, thank you to every one of you lovely listeners for tuning in. Hope to catch you guys next time. I am hoping that you love this topic. I know it was a little bit deeper and, not more of our forte that we usually do here, but we just had to relate to every athlete. Once again, if you guys are going through anything, please feel free to reach out to anyone you have, and love you guys.
Thank you guys.
This was Talking with Taco, and my two great co-hosts, Eli and Art. Thank you guys.